Hello, everyone, and welcome back to season 2 of the Careering Podcast. We're back, bitches. I am your host, Kelsey, and I'm here, as always, with my co-host and creator of Careering, Melissa Davies. Yo, what up?
Hola.
How you going?
I'm good.
You're looking really nervous. Have we forgotten how to do this?
No, it's because there's a camera now.
Oh, yeah, there
The
is.
camera's me, not a fan. I'm not a fan.
Guys, I'm not going to lie. We got all the gear and no idea this season.
Literally.
We got new mics and even newer opinions. We're back. We took a long time out.
Yeah. It's me. Hi. I'm the problem. It's me.
Yeah, right.
I am the problem. I'm the reason it's taken us so long to come back.
Look, Melissa's going to take the blame, but I'm not going to lie. I was also part of the problem because I certainly wasn't pushing the fact. But no, we are back. We are back for season 2 as promised, just like months after we thought we were going to do it. So, Melissa, do you want to start with what's been going on? What's happening? What are we doing this episode? Honestly, I'm just rocking the microphones. You're going to tell me what we're here for.
Yeah, I'm bringing the content. Kelsey's bringing the tech.
Good.
Yeah, so the reason we were delayed in coming back to your ear holes is... Sorry.
Not a good enough reason to use the word ear holes this early in season 2.
Let's start how we mean to continue.
I mean, great.
I had some health stuff and then I overcommitted. So I'm interested in your word of the year. So while you think about that.
Oh, my word of the year.
That's kind of that sums up what 2023 has been for you.
Oh, Jesus.
My word for this year has been relentless.
Yep.
It just feels like I've had my foot on the accelerator the whole year and I've really not walked the talk around work-life balance or integration, but it's not because it's been stuff that has been overloading me and overwhelming me. I've actually said yes to a whole lot of stuff that I've loved.
Yeah.
And it's been my FOMO that I didn't want to drop any of it. I've really enjoyed it, but I definitely should have asked some better questions along the way before I said yes to some stuff. So relentless is my word of the year.
Right. And is this where I'm supposed to put my word of the year?
Or a theme. It doesn't have to be a word.
Peaks and troughs, I think is probably the best way to put it. Emotionally, spiritually, physically, just, some real high highs and some real low lows. Look, we're in December, so it's not a bad thing. I made it through.
We survived.
Yeah. So, look, we're here.
I actually feel interesting you say that though, like we've made it to December. I don't know about you, but everyone I'm talking to at the moment has felt like 2023 has been a hard year for different reasons. What about you?
Honestly, it seems to be the theme at the moment where everyone seems to be crawling to like what we call this weird finish line.
Yeah.
To be fair though, after getting COVID for the second time, after working myself into the ground for 2 weeks, I actually feel all right. Like I'm actually not that exhausted. I actually feel quite organised. Because I got forced to stay in my house for a week and it was honestly one of the best things that could have happened to me in November. I know that's stupid, but I know you don't like being locked up.
No, but I agree with you. I loved because everything had been so intense that having an excuse to stay home.
And no one was allowed to come and see you.
Yeah, and no one. And if I didn't want to turn up to a Zoom meeting, I had a really good reason not to.
Yeah. So just for context,
really grateful.
Melissa and I got COVID at exactly the same time.
Yeah,
like exactly the same time.
Yeah. And so it was my 3rd dose, and so it's definitely had an impact. And I'm going to have to take it really easy for the next month or 2. But likewise, it was this weird moment where I messaged Kels and I was like, "Oh no, you better." Make sure you've tested. And she goes, I was just about to message her. And so we were like, oh, well, off to COVID jail we go.
Whoops.
And neither of us were mad about it.
No, honestly, I feel like I got the rest and the reset. Not only is projects and work and all these things relentless, but just like when you live by yourself, the fucking washing and the dishes and all of the things are fucking relentless.
Yeah, the demands on your time, the things to be managed.
I know. And my undiagnosed ADHD brain cannot function well when there's mess around me, especially when I'm procrastinating.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just nice to be able to reset my house.
That's why it was
reset
great
my
when
brain.
you were my flatmate, because you would procrastinate to clean my house.
No, it was great. Melissa got all the benefits of the
I did.
procrastinating.
Yeah, I would procrastinate make margaritas.
Yeah, midday margaritas were not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So
Interesting.
talk us through the last few months, because I can't even remember when we last released an episode. Like I think it was earlier this year.
Yeah, it was the start of the year.
Yeah.
So this year's been interesting. One of the things that I think is a bit of a standout is I did some lecturing, undergrad lecturing at UC,
Oh my god.
which was awesome, and the workload was really full on.
I was going to say, are you going to tell us the truth?
Yeah, it's both, right? Like, so what was interesting for me is when I reflected on it, overall, I loved the engagement with the students. I think I feel really confident about our future as a society based on
Wow.
the students I got to engage with. Now I realise it's a privileged select few people that get to go to university in the first instance. But those students from, really diverse backgrounds, ages, experience, ethnicities,
Yeah.
cultural lenses, across the spectrum of gender, like I was just like, oh yeah, this is awesome. The women in particular, and those young women, I am just so impressed.
Yay. Oh, that's so exciting.
Yeah, honestly.
So what were you teaching?
So feasibility assessment of innovation
Okay.
and entrepreneurship and new ventures.
Honestly, university's come a long way since I was there.
Yeah, it was really cool subjects actually, and I loved teaching them. Like I loved the content.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy the 88 slide decks that I had to prepare every week, and
I'm just having China flashbacks.
yeah, it was like that. It was like that on speed.
Oh God.
Yeah, it was full on. But what I realized, it's really interesting because I also through the university I'm a professor of practice. So I teach adult education and I have sort of qualifications and I've done quite a lot of executive training. And I'm really used to that where it's more facilitating and you're drawing out ideas.
Yeah.
Whereas I kind of forgot with lecturing, you have to kind of share a lot of theories and concepts and then seek opinions on those rather than workshopping them. So it's quite a different style. But what I realized partway through is it's way more fun for the students if we're talking and engaging and having a dialogue rather than me talking at them. So I definitely changed my approach throughout it all, which is really fun. I felt more comfortable. Just kick the table. Yeah, so that's kind of been the big standout for me as a big change. So it was parental leave cover. So I won't be continuing with that in 2024. But also, thank God, because I worked every weekend for like 5 months. So because I also said yes to some other things at the same time. So that's on me.
How many courses did you do?
Two.
How many does a full-time lecturer do?
Yeah, that was the question I should have asked. They do 3.
Good.
My niece summed it up beautifully. She said, oh, cool, that sounds really fun. So that means you've got like 5 full-time jobs now?
Yeah. Yep.
And I was like, oh, this 12-year-old is way wiser than me. She gets it. I need to make changes for 2024. That's what the COVID break actually gave me was time to sit down and go, okay, let's reflect. What would I do differently and take what do I want to capture as a really good experience and what do I want to learn from this and do differently in 2024?
Yeah.
So that was actually really helpful.
What did you do to cope while it was all happening?
I just did my usual Tory and farm girl tactic of just work harder all of the time, just work all of the time, have no life.
And then just go full break and go overseas.
Yeah. And then run away during the semester break and hang out on a tropical island.
With the turtles.
With turtles and while grading papers.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to grade papers, there's good places to be grading said papers.
Yeah, it was actually really good. I would do that in the evenings. So I'd spend my day, I'm a morning person anyway. So I'd get
Pina
up.
colada and marking.
Yeah.
Loves it. There's not much booze in it. Pina colada anyway. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah. So that little bit of inspo definitely helped me keep going for the second stretch of the semester.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah. So that was my big takeout for the last few months. What about you, Kels? What's been happening?
So I have just been trying to figure my life out. No, nothing new, really, nothing new. I stepped into a general manager role in November last year, and so it's been sort of a year of 3 months and 3 month stints.
Oh yeah.
And the first 3 months was, oh my fucking God, just survive. The second 3 months was, I can't do this. I have no ability to do this. Why am I here? I'm fucking terrible at it. the next 3 months were, fuck this shit, I'm here, I'm going to do it. And then the last 3 months have been like, right, get out of my fucking way. And so it's been, peaks and troughs, real ups and downs.
Interesting, because if you think about that learning curve, that kind of, you go from that unconscious incompetence and you move right through to conscious competence. Yeah. It's kind of like, that's kind of reflected in your experience, the way you describe it.
Yeah. I also just think,
sounds like you set up camp in imposter syndrome for a while there as well.
Oh yeah. Good hard period of time in that period as well. But also just like some mental health stuff and some like health stuff and all of it all mixed in together, because turns out we're not robots. Amazingly, like apparently like the oldest daughter perfectionist bullshit that I bring into my life, it doesn't mean that I'm a robot, and that I can still fall apart. And that was the big lesson that I have learnt this year, I think, is probably the best one. Right. And that it doesn't fucking matter. Yeah. Like, I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to save anyone's life.
Yeah.
And
although you are very good in a crisis, actually.
I am very good in a crisis. I had a real weird crisis yesterday.
Yeah, talk us through that, Kels.
Honestly, like, guys, this is the weekend before Christmas. So we're mid-December, before Christmas. I'm up 8 a.m. on a Saturday. I'm like fucking pumping out all of my Christmas shopping. I'm like, right, I'm going to the warehouse. I'm going to... I can't even remember whether JB Hi-Fi. I'm going to the Look Shop. I'm going to the Rock Shop. I'm going to the fucking mall. I'm getting all of these things ticked off. I'm bam, bam, bam. Everyone's got what I need, and it's a great day out. Last thing on my list is to go to the supermarket and pick up my groceries. As I'm driving there, Melissa sends me a voice message, something about getting caffeinated, and I went, fuck, I forgot to get coffee. So I have to go upstairs, get my coffee, come back down, get in my car to like move my car over to the pickup spot, because I'm not parking in the pickup spot unless I'm picking up. Like, that's just rude.
Nice work, hours, daughter. Following the rules.
I know. So pulling over. And as I'm pulling over to it, there's this almighty crash. And I'm like, it might be a truck above, like, because I'm in the underground car park. So I'm like, it might be a truck above or something. Turn around, like, get out of my car, turn around, and there's this little old man in this beaten up Swift, pulls up next to me, and he's just looking absolutely like out of his mind, shocked. There's two women running across the car park, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Turns out this little old man had come into the underground car park, and I don't know what had happened. I missed the entire thing, but I look over to the other side of the car park, and he has completely written off a whole other car, just taken off the whole bumper, bent the whole front axle, just completely, like, that car is just gone. Like, it's no longer a doable. He's also hit another car, and he's banged up both sides of his Swift to the point where I couldn't even get his front driver's side door open properly. And there were like electronic bits falling out of it. And his whole front right wheel was just mangled as well. So I'm like, helped this little old man into the car, and he's like bawling his eyes out, and I'm like calling his daughter, and this other lady's like running upstairs to get him water, and so I'm just like there, like looking after this little man, because we're like, oh my God, these people are getting their shopping. They're going to come back down and they're going to be like awful to him. And then spot this lady, the lady that owned the car that got absolutely written off. And she just like screams in the car park. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, right, sir, I'm just going to leave you here. I'm just going to go and deal with that. And then I went and talked to her, and I'm like, look, it was a little old man. He's just over there. He's quite upset. And she's like shaking. And she was so lovely when she went over to him. She went, it's just a car.
Oh, bless her.
This time of the year is awful. Like, don't even worry about it. Second guy comes down who had like a little ding in the back of his car, loses the fucking plot. And the little old man goes, ugh, men. Okay, so even in like the midst of like him bawling his eyes out, like he would have been late 80s, early 90s, and all I could think was, what if this was my grandma or my grandparent, like my grandfather? And so like we were just like, we hung out with him and until his daughter got there. And then his daughter and her husband were absolute assholes. And we're like, oh, what have you done? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, so in front of them, I walked up to him as I was about to leave and go, I've got to go, but I just want you to know that it's absolutely okay. Things like this happen all the time. That's why we have insurance. It's just a car, and as long as you're okay, everything's okay, and looked
good
the
on
daughter
you.
dead in the eye as I said it. And I peaced out. I was like, oh my God, it is the craziest time of the year. Don't be an asshole. Like,
Yeah.
people are, it's such a struggle, and people are so caught up in their own shit. And it was just like this awful thing, but it was such a good reminder that, like, it's just fucking Christmas.
Yeah.
It doesn't fucking matter.
Also, I think not everyone got a COVID break like we did.
Yeah,
you know?
that's also
like,
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I hadn't had a COVID break, it might have been a very different reaction.
Yeah. Now, are we all planning holidays for November 2024, right?
Honestly,
I recommend it.
Yeah.
Like, take a week off
Yeah.
late November.
prep yourself into
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Like, 90% of the year's done. Like, give yourself a week to just woosah.
Yeah. Take a breath, set yourself up, and then go into this period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's interesting, like, I've been with you a few times, excuse me, where there's been a crisis, and you are like, I've got this. Like, you are the person that you need if something goes to chaos and there's people reacting all over the place. You're like, this is appropriate, this is not. You're like a traffic controller of mayhem when shit goes down. Like, I bet that little old man was like, thank God that woman was here.
And the other lady, it was so good because there was 3 women, and we all went over, and every single one of us assumed a different role.
Oh, cute.
So I was like, right, who do you want me to call? Just come and sit over here. The other one was like talking to him about his family and just keeping him distracted, and was just doing like the really good empathetic stuff. And then the other woman was like running upstairs getting drinks, bottles of water. And it was just like one of those things where it's just like, I don't know these ladies, but fuck me, why are women not running this fucking world?
Yeah.
Like, it was just like sorted. And then it wasn't, and everything was all good until this fucking asshole that had a little ding in the back of his car comes down and starts losing his mind. And we were like, sir, this isn't about you. Put it away.
Yeah. It's so hard though, because I guess on the flip side, I go, what's his year been like?
I know, but also.
Yeah, but also not
what's
excusing
the
that
little
behavior.
old man's been like, you know?
You can choose your, I guess some people go, is that whole straight to rage, right? And I think what was interesting is we're probably going to do an episode on anger and rage this season. Thanks, Jane.
Female rage, feminine rage. I've got a lot of it. I'm an expert.
Speaking of which, should we go get a glass of wine?
I really think we need to. So this season we are going to do a whole lot of different things. We do literally have brand new mics. We're all set up with the amazing road set up. We've also got video. We're going to try a whole lot of different things, including Kelsey pouring an entire glass of water over the brand new mixer just before we started recording before. So like, look, we're here to try a lot of new things. So if you've got any ideas, we definitely want to hear them.
Got a couple of guest speakers we're keen to chat with to show different careers and also career pivot points. So changing from one lane to another or taking a career break. We're keen to do a bit more of an exploration on those kinds of topics. So if there are other topics that you want us to chat about or some people that you think would be amazing guests, please let us know. Hit us up on Insta. That's the easiest way. So at Careering9.
And I think we're getting rid of the Twitter and TikTok for this season just because Twitter is no longer a thing in this world. We're avoiding. But what we are going to do is have a quick whip round of our current hyperfixations. So what are you hyperfixating on at the moment? What have you got in your world that you're really interested in?
It's so funny because I'm not really someone who goes hard at something. I'll have a theme maybe for a couple of months. And I'm very excited to get back into my garden, actually. Now that was what the upside again of my little COVID break was going, oh yeah, actually I want to spend a bit more time outside and my hands in the dirt. So it's been super fun actually. And yeah.
Cool. Mine's real different.
Yeah. Talk to us, Kels. What is it?
I've found this guy on YouTube who goes out into just the most amazing communities of people in the States with a GoPro and some like wireless mics. And he's just done a series on Mormonism and the Church of the Latter-day Saints and all of the chaos from all different angles. And so he talks to everybody in it. And he goes and has dinner with different types of people within the religion. And he just is fascinating.
That's quite interesting.
So the reason I got into it was because I started watching one about the Appalachian Mountains and about this remote community and what community means and how important community is to our civilization. So like Carl Davidson talks about how we should have 3 communities.
Yeah.
We should have our home, we should have our work, and then we should have our third one. But what we often, as human beings now, we're missing that third one. We haven't got that around us. And watching these things they're called hollers. And so they're basically just like dirt roads off a main road, and it's where all the community, like a specific community, lives and resides, and everybody knows everybody's houses. And
This sounds like Southbridge.
honestly, yeah. And so, but it talks about how they all know each other, they all help each other out, and like how so much of that is now missing in modern day society.
Yeah.
And people look down on it like the rednecks and like the bogans and blah, 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 blah. But actually there's a real quality of life that it brings to these people because we're just human beings who want connection.
That's so interesting because I've always said, like, growing up in Southbridge, like at the time there was 700 people, so we literally did know everyone.
Yeah.
And we had a house fire when I was about 18 or 19, and we kind of lost everything. And within a couple of hours, my grandparents' driveway was chocker full of clothes and bedding and deviled sausages and shoes and rugby boots and cricket sets and things for my brothers and me, and just this really practical, helpful lens of things. We had people phoning us saying that they had spare rooms we could stay in or a batch we could use, and it was just amazing. And so having that community, when you have those really tough times, I absolutely see the power in community.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's quite interesting. And I've also said, like, again, thinking about like growing up in Southbridge, there was 3 churches in that town at the time, and your community was quite connected to religion.
Yeah.
And I do think a lot about the societal breakdown as we've moved away from organised religion. That's just getting a bit deep.
Oh, honestly,
we were talking wine, and now I've gone into societal breakdown.
But honestly, that is pretty much the point of his channel. Like, he's also he does a whole lot of different seasons, and I watched one where a family had a ranch in their family for the last 6 generations, and then he did one where he rode along with the sheriffs on the Texas border where the wall is, and talked about how they see those coming in and for asylum seeking, and how it actually all works. And actually it's not about the people coming in, it's the cartels that are running the people in to get the drugs in at the same time. And so honestly, it's just a first-hand account. He asks great questions. He doesn't bring any opinions to it. Peter Santinello on YouTube, honestly, it's just...
We'll link it in the show notes.
Yeah, he's real good. So that's my current hyperfixation. I've probably watched 30 videos in the last week.
Also, you're very good at hyperfixating, I must say.
I am.
It's a real strength.
Yeah, I go real deep.
You do. Like, that's how we know how to use our technology today.
Yeah, do you want to know what my favourite new thing, my new toy is? Can I do it?
Do it.
I hope it's going to work, to be honest with you, because otherwise I'm going to be real upset. Ready? I'm so fucking excited. So there's going to be many, many new things along the way, but we hope that you are here with us for the rest of the year, and we'll be coming to you this side of Christmas and then all into the 2024. We're committed to 2024 being back in the podcast seats. So again, if you need us, we are Careering9 on Instagram, on Facebook, and TikTok. Yes,
Correct.
we're on TikTok as well. I do that, so I should know that. So hit us up, give us some ideas. We want to hear from all of you. Anything else from you?
No. Peace out.
Great. Peace out, motherfuckers.